In the cradle of Western civilization, where myth meets reality and gods meet humans, there is a cultural movement in the dusty chronicles of time. Join me and my group as we unveil the rich fabric of ancient Greek culture, a timeless heritage that shaped and sculpted the foundation of our modern society. Greek culture is a great blend of art, philosophy and civic pride. The great ideas and impressive impact that the ancient Greeks left us are a testament to how advanced they were in these areas. From the Agora to the Holy Temple, Greek culture spread through every aspect of life. The ancient Greeks believed that the earth itself had a divine meaning. Mountains, rivers, forests were all considered wonders of the gods. The locations of the Greek temples were carefully chosen to match the atmospheric nature of the landscape. Each of these sites had temples dedicated to different gods and goddesses, reflecting the variety and richness of Greek polytheistic worship. However, Greek temples were more than places of worship. All were an expression of a city's overall identity and an expression of civic pride. The Parthenon, for example, is a symbol of Doric architecture and stands as a testament to the superiority of Athens. Greek temples were also places of sacred display and sacred ritual. There were also many religious shows, ceremonies and festivals alongside the churches and the theaters that brought the community together in many cultural experiences. Believers from all parts of Greece also visited the temples in search of spiritual satisfaction and divine grace. These voyages contributed to cultural exchange and the spread of religious practices throughout the Greek world. And even if these historical marvels only stand in ruins today, the meanings and philosophy behind the architectural and spiritual structure behind ancient Greek temples continues to inspire and amaze us all.
Religion, altar and worship. In this part, the rich history of the incredible ancient Greek religion will be covered in addition to its unique altar complex and the worship tradition. Greek religion is both easily identifiable and mysterious. It combines elements from the natural world with a sense of strangeness. Hence, it has been examined as a guide in order to understand the origin of all faiths. Nevertheless, with its historical effects, it relies on a distinct and complicated prehistorical background. The Greek mythologies involved their gods, who originated from Mount Olympus. There were supposedly 13 gods in Greek religion, who are respectively named as Zeus, Athena, Artemis, Apollo, Poseidon, Hades, Hermes, Demeter, Hera, Dionysos, Aphrodite, Ares, and Hephaestus. Each of the 13 gods represented a unique personification in athletic and beautiful human bodies. Additionally, there were continuous rituals that were done through sacrifices of animals and libations, which was a ritual done with wine for their gods. In addition, Greeks had magnificent temples like the Parthenon in Athens to worship that were built with great effort with supreme details that dominated their landscapes. Usually, altars might be found outside the temples, in front of the temple structure or inside the temenos. Altars are meant to be sacred places where people can make offerings and carry out rituals in remembrance of the god to whom the temple was dedicated. Offerings were brought by worshippers for the altar, including food, drink, incense, and symbolic objects. The purpose of these offerings was to express devotion and ask the gods for favor. There are several levels of inaccessibility in Greek temples, but the main ones are as follows. Apparent total exclusion, admission to priests only, either annually or on specific days. Admittance to those who came on special business, such as to perform the rite of incubation or to consult an oracle, and admission to one sex only. The situations of severely restricted access to Greek temples are primarily seen when the deity is Oriental rather than Greek, or when the deity exhibits more or less pronounced Sidonian traits.
Poetry played a crucial part in Greek religion. Because of the lack of a holy book, poets and poetry were the representatives of holy texts. Poetry and the poets were the legitimacy of the religious authority. When we look at Herodotus' history, we can see that he attributed a fundamental role to the two poets for arranging the pantheon, Homer and Hesiodus. From this, we can infer that the poets were the ones who created the religious culture and tradition. While creating religious literature, they became a bridge between people and gods. They used their heavenly influence to create a narrative without the dogmatic vision of prophets of Abrahamic and monotheistic religions. For example, in Hesiod's work, The Birth of the Gods, the muses choose it both to honor the gods and to explain the differences between the gods. In other words, while producing a literary work about the sacred, it also contributes to religious literature by providing information. Also, While Homer is talking about the foundation of the Temple of Delphi and the hymns dedicated to Apollo, he gives detailed information about the gods, from their names to their appearance and other features. However, the gods mentioned in Homer's poems are never gods who have completed their final evolution and become detached from daily life. While they continue to be the religious basis of society, they take part in the poet's epic narrative with the inspiration they give to the poet. The poet's role in this mythological narrative is not as a mythical narrator who creates the gods. He is an intermediary appointed by the gods.
The ancient Greeks had several sacred days and festivals that played a significant role in their religious and civic life. In their religion, one Greek god was honored each year. As we dedicate our example to Artemis, she was honored on the 6th day of each month. This day was designed to bring happiness to the goddess followers throughout the year. It also served as a thank you note for last year. That a family service or the priest will offer morning prayers and offerings directly. There is a feast between relatives and friends, and a goat or a sheep is sacrificed. The festival day encompasses the entire village. There could be a song about the gifts, and as a way to please the gods, given on the day of the festival by a group of young girls. It is widely accepted that the only intention behind Greek sacrifice was to offer animals as offerings to the gods. It's just one step. Before being sacrificed to the god, the animal is first cleansed, prepared, stunned, slaughtered, and blend for the eyes of altar. Often, a portion of the animal was offered. There are specific animal parts designed for smoking in the altar. In addition to rituals, ancient Greeks had numerous festivals and Olympic games dedicated to deities. For example, there were the Olympic Games, which was named after the sacred city of Olympia, as the gods were believed to live there. The Olympic Games were competitions of national sports with festivals, and they also held an essential role in the worship of Greek religion.
Hello, I am talking about the great architecture of ancient Greece. So, join me as I explore the civilization that owns some of the history's most incredible structures. To understand ancient Greek architecture, we need to talk about the basics, so let's take a look. The Greeks had a vision of balance and harmony. These principles were deeply embedded in their culture and reflected in their buildings as well as in their art and philosophy. The most distinctive feature of ancient Greek architecture is the use of columns. There are three main types: Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. They all have unique characteristics. The Doric looks masculine, the Ionic is feminine, and the Corinthian is almost hyper-feminine with its hyper-ornamented features. Let's start with the Doric plan. It is known for its simplicity and strength. The Parthenon on the Acropolis in Athens is a classic example of Doric architecture. Turning to the Ionic system, we find a much simpler and more elegant way. The Ionic columns are tall and graceful. Lastly, we have the Corinthian plan, the most elaborate and exaggerated of them all. Acanthus leaves and small scrolls top the Corinthian columns. The Olympiad Temple of Zeus in Athens is a good example of this. Columns played an important role in ancient Greek architecture, but in Greek architecture also had features such as entablatures, friezes, and pediments with elaborate sculptures and paintings. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our video. Take care.